My name is Don Williams. I've lived in Dallas all my adult life. Practiced law, was CEO of Trammell Crow Company, and was really worried about what's going on with the southern half of Dallas compared to the northern half. You may know that half of the population lives in the northern half the population in the southern half, but 85% of the property values are in the northern half, and only 15% down here in the southern half. So I wanted to see if there was something I could do about that disparity of incomes, of living conditions, and so on in the city of Dallas.
You know, most of my work was in the office back then, being the CFO, and I'd do my little accounting in the office, and I never drove down here, but I did early on in Frazier's tenure here. And I remember seeing these apartments, the Frazier projects, Frazier Courts projects, and they were in the process of being torn down, these two-story red brick post-World War II buildings, and it looked like a war zone. And then as you drive down the street, it just continued. You know, you see dilapidated buildings and flooding in the streets and unclean neighborhoods, trash and this. And my surprise was always, how can the city allow this to stay like this?
So we focused on the systems of Dallas, systems change that affect particularly lower income folks, the affordable housing system, the employment system, the healthcare system, and so on, to see if systemic change could lead to change on behalf of those who have been left behind. So nobody trusted us. And everything we did together with the community as informed by the community, not, you know, high-minded white folks coming in here to try to fix poor folks' problems. And so we started with an after-school program that wasn't just about helping kids do their homework, although we did that too, but we had professionals in here that had experience with children who had suffered PTSD. We worked both social and emotional intelligence as well as your academic performance and whatnot, and had fun. So I think gradually over time, the community began to at least trust us enough to work with us, to listen, to provide input, to provide criticism. And so I think the key part for us was not what to do, but how to do it. And how to do it was in partnership with the community residents. One of my favorite moments from that period was there was a hot sheet motel over there called the American Motel. Notorious, you know, with illicit activities and usually a couple of murders a year. To be present when the bulldozers were there, driven by members of the community to knock down one of the most noxious uses of that community ever.
Well, that was a great day. I was there the day they demolished the Hot Sheet Motel. I think everybody was happy about that because it was such a detriment to the community. So I think it was a burst of excitement for the neighbors. They saw opportunity to move forward. And anytime people see an opportunity to move forward, they're pretty excited.
So I came across Frazier with Dorothy, was looking for financing to try to put something on the current Parkland site. She took me on this 3-hour power tour that just really got me excited about her vision for the area and her strong grasp of the needs for the area. And through that, we just went through different reiterations of trying to find single-family homes, multi-family homes, trying to find the right fit for that site. And through the relationships of Richard Knight, the former board chair at Frazier, and Don Williams' connections and vision, we were able to connect with Parkland and create a top-notch medical facility there on the corner for the community.
I definitely see Frazier's biggest accomplishment as the Parkland Clinic. I mean, that was a huge project, almost a $20 million project, 44,000 square feet. It was a nightmare to finance, and it turned out incredibly beautiful, and the parking lot is packed every day.
We had no healthcare facility in this area, and when we talked about having Parkland, and now they can just walk over to the building, go in and get the services that are right in their neighborhood. But with this dental clinic, MC Cooper Dental Clinic coming, it really has opened up avenues, not only for the residents here, but people in other areas also.
So you have these buildings, you have these developments, but how are the residents connected to the change that's happening in the community? And how do they feel personally impacted by the revitalization efforts? And so it seemed the right next step for us was to begin to work with existing homeowners to preserve affordable housing in this area.
Well, we do this home repair program, and we do comprehensive home improvement, where we go in and we replace foundations and roofing and windows and electrical, plumbing, you name it. When we were able to redo the home of a seasoned great-grandmother raising her 2 great-grandchildren, when she was able to move back into her home, the first thing she said was, "Is this my house? Whose house is this?" Because it was such a remarkable change from where she came, what it was when we got there, to when she moved in. She was having to go to the laundromat in her 80s and get her laundry done. And she never had a washer dryer. We were able to carve some space out in her back bedroom and make her a laundry room. She had a washer and dryer for the first time in her life.
So we've created wealth for them, but then we've also asked them to come and work with lawyers here, the Community Lawyering Center, and make sure they have a will so that generational wealth can be passed on to the next generation.
But then we started looking at all of the other things that were needed to really come around and support the family. It's almost like each home needed their own executive board to be able to help fill in the gaps, to help them have a sense of stability and security. Because it's only when you feel secure, only when you feel safe and you feel cared for, are you able to learn. And so we are asking people to get involved in decision making in the community, and they themselves don't feel any sense of stability. And so that's how our empowerment pathways were born.
People now come to community meetings that never ever showed up for one. They'll raise their hand and say, "I'll take responsibility for that." So I think one of the impacts of that has been the empowerment, social and political empowerment of people within this community to advocate for their own needs. They don't have to have some elected person, speak for them. They can speak for themselves. And I think what I've learned out of all of that is that's doable everywhere. This is not a unique model, need not be. This is a doable model of partnerships that can be done all across Dallas and the country, in fact.
The thing I love about being at Frazier is that there's a demonstrated commitment to this community and to the work, and that we won't just rest on our past success, but that we'll do even greater things in the years to come.